Hello, good evening and welcome. You've just entered the arena. I'm Michael Coren, whether you like it or not, and thank you for joining me. Okay, an unusual monologue because it's largely an email from a viewer. He lives in Oshawa, Ontario, a fairly typical Canadian town and one I know very well. It was the first place I lived when I came here in 1987. His name is Chris Topple, and I said, can I use your name? He said I could, and here's the email. Let me tell you about my experience, he says. In May of this year, my 4-year-old granddaughter in JK came home from her public school in Oshawa with a book in her backpack given her by her teacher. It was called Marries, Mum. Now, her mother was upset with this and sent the book back without reading it to her daughter. She felt the topic was too much at a young age. I called Durham Public Board Trustee Larry Jacula and a board bureaucrat. They both told me, oh, it's the law, and referred to Dalton McGuinty's curriculum and applauded the action by the school. I had 2 questions for them, he says. The first was, did they have any discretion within the curriculum as to at what age gay matters are introduced to young children? They both stated, please listen to this, they both stated they had no discretion and said the topic is, quote, age appropriate from JK to grade 12. My second question, he said, was since they do not teach certain subjects like geography, history or math until children have learned the basics, then how could children understand gay matters in JK? They thought they could, and it was needed to avoid, here we go, discrimination against gay people. I pointed out that they were labeling people when my granddaughter does not label anyone, whether involving race, religion, or sexual orientation. I said that children of tender years should not be exposed to any sexual teaching because they're not developed enough emotionally. Now, we agreed to disagree, and the 2 conversations ended politely. He continues, my granddaughter is into princesses, including the dresses, and pretends to marry her prince. Now, teaching her this topic at her age would confuse her needlessly, he means the gay issue. She is taught to love people and accept them as they are. Dalton McGuinty is dead wrong on this curriculum. It seems anyone who does not conform to it is labelled homophobic, a term which reminds me of the old term anti-Soviet, which the Soviet government labelled dissidents. It is possible to discuss this without meaningless name-calling. Thanks for listening. It's my pleasure, my friend. I mean, you're obviously a balanced, good, kind, intelligent person. But I have to tell you, balance, goodness, kindness, and intelligence are not respected these days. No, today we prefer false emotion, hysteria, extremism, intolerance, dishonesty. Now, there was a time, sadly, tragically, when gay people were treated terribly in Canada and throughout the world. Today, saying anything critical about any aspect of the gay agenda, though, is similarly assumed to be a moral, political and intellectual crime. It ceased being about equality and respect a very long time ago. It's now about a fawning affirmation. What I have found so jarring, actually, is that some of the very people who obsess about this issue and want tiny children indoctrinated are so often part of a left that says hardly anything about those countries where gay people really are persecuted and even killed. Iran, Palestine, Saudi Arabia and so on. Look, the parent is the primary educator, but there is a war on the family. We're told that both parents must work, kids should be raised communally, and to question the wisdom of that communal education makes us fearful and foolish people. You mentioned the Soviets. I used to think that was hyperbole. You know what now? I'm not so sure.